Being a good sim racer, or even a decent one, is tough. Hell, I'm not even close to being one. But I have learned some things that all beginners should know, and I'm here to share them. Before we get into it, I want to make it very clear all these tips can go hand in hand, so it's important you receive all the information I give you. And with that, let's get into it. Number 1. Drive into the corners properly. If you have played any arcade-like racing game, this isn't a problem. However, real-life racing and sim racing are much different. The proper way you would want to head into a corner would be starting from the very outside and diving to hit the inside and hitting the outside again on corner exit. However, corners can be more complicated than just one simple turn. Here's another example. This would likely be the proper way you would handle this corner. Another thing I do is I will look up the track I'm trying to drive on and watch the professionals and their lines to get a good idea of what the line is. However, there's more to properly heading into corners, and that brings me to number 2. Number 2, using all the racing track you can. Not using all the racing track is not necessarily bad, however it can cost you a lot of lap time. If you just start in the middle, you'll find it a lot harder to get down to the inside and hold it down there. It's more turning and more slowing down you have to do. This doesn't just ruin a corner, but it ruins the next one and the entire lap. So using as much racetrack as possible can be the difference between this time and this time, which may not look like a lot, but when racing, a tenth of a second can mean the difference between first and fifth place. Number 3, do not use assists. Some of you guys are probably thinking this makes no sense, and some of you guys probably think this makes perfect sense. But either way, do not use assists. Assists like braking, ideal racing line, etc. all ruin your racing performance. The assists make it so it's almost not you driving. If you never learn how to drive alone without assists, you won't get better, as you can't really push yourself because the assists will slow you down to keep you at slower speeds, which ruins the learning process. I learned this specifically in a game called NASCAR Heat 5, where I would brake for a corner, slow down too much, and the game refused to let me go faster through a corner because of the assists. So bottom line, just don't have assists on. Number 4, stop turning more to get through a corner. This may sound extremely dumb, but let me explain. Let's say you're going through a corner at the same speed you usually would, but you want to get through a little faster, so you turn the wheel more, and you end up driving off the track. Why is this? Well, it's because your tires lose grip on the road because you were too aggressive. This is called understeer and usually can be fixed with slowing down more or decreasing turn angle of the wheel. Number 5, stop sending it first try. When you're driving a track for the first time, I know it can be very tempting to want to just go flying through corners just to see what the track is like, but I heavily suggest you do the opposite. Brake earlier than you would expect. This is because it's way easier and faster to learn a track if you're driving conservatively and you can ease into going faster. Going wide or going off track ruins your next corner and racing line, making it harder to learn the next corner as well. Going slower will allow you to stay on the racing line, and even though you're going slower, this will help you set up for the next corner. All these tips do require some practice and getting used to, so don't get frustrated if you don't get it the first try, because I know I certainly didn't. Anyways, if you enjoyed, please make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.